Eurovision artist for this year. That's
Yes.
like the main focus now. Who would be the top three from last night?
Saturday was just very fun, but also another late night. So today I'm just dying.
This is Chris M. ESC Chris. You should check
ESC
out.
underscore Chris M. It's
Yes.
very complicated. Someone had stolen Eurovision Chris, so I just took that one.
Exactly. You should check out his stuff and his interviews in particularly. They're super good. You're a great guy, so that's why I would like now, as I couldn't be there, to go through what went down. Because we usually
Sure.
talk about these things. So I think doing a
Yeah.
little review and also at the end maybe hear who were your favorites. That would be nice, and what you think regarding like how they're gonna do based on their performance.
Yeah.
But before we get into that,
Yeah, so Nordic Eurovision Party is pretty new as a concept in terms of broadening into the pre-party scene, right? You could clearly see that it's grown quite a lot this year. So there are many more people. Concert lasted, if I'm not wrong, 3 hours. It was a really nice upgrade from last year. So you have like the gallery where people can sit if they want to sit, and downstairs it was not at all like too packed, but it was atmospheric at the same time. So really nice. I really enjoyed it. The performances were really nice. I really enjoyed like overall as I said, the atmosphere and the music that was performed. Some songs from the past that I knew, and some recent songs as well that I can get onto a bit later. Maybe it was because I was at the very front. I found that sometimes the mics were quite low. So the actual vocals were at times difficult to hear, and the instrumentation and production was quite loud. But it didn't take away from the enjoyment of the evening and the songs and everything. So that was my overall impression, and everyone seemed to be having a really nice time, and it was really good vibes in the arena, among the crowd, between the people, the acts on stage. They seemed very happy, and yeah, there were no technical glitches or problems or anything. I mean, for the second year of a pre-party to be so slick, very impressive. So I got to the venue. I'm at the back of this queue. I'm not going to get anywhere near the front. I'll find a spot and enjoy it from wherever it is. And then it was very well organized, as I said, kind of going in through the cloakroom, and then you can get water or a drink if you want. Then I found that actually it was pretty easy to walk through the crowd, but I got a spot at the barrier.
Nice.
Because the barrier was not full. It was at the side, so it wasn't like right in the middle, but right at the barrier. So I had like a very good view of all of the acts. And importantly, and sometimes if you're at the side, you see backstage stuff going on. It's kind of off-putting to a show. That was not the case here. Everything was very well laid out, so that even people at the sides were not getting, we could vaguely see some people there, like with things for miking people up and earpieces and stuff, but very, very kind of covered. So that was the start, and the first impression was great kind of setup. Then we started with Gunhild from Gotha. And I think she was the first one on. Of course, there was a host, and I don't know her name because I'm not Norwegian. Everything was in Norwegian. There were little bits and pieces in English, but everything was in Norwegian, more or less.
do you feel like most of the people who are there are from Norway, or should they maybe do it more, in English?
Actually, one of the acts, I think it was Clara Hammerstrand, asked, how many people are from Norway, how many people are from Sweden, and how many from other countries, and you heard the cheers. From where I was standing, at the left-hand side front, it seemed to be mostly Norwegians and Swedes. The lowest amount of cheers were other countries. I don't necessarily think the language needs to be changed. The important things were said in English. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if it, it's to kind of broaden out in appeal as a pre-party, at least increasing the amount of English a little bit during the show, not at the start and the end, because that was fine, but during the show, that would be nice. Let's go! Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think the surprise was that the quality had increased so much from last year. You could tell how much effort and work had been put into it this year. It wasn't that it wasn't good last year. It was just the first year, and obviously, you know, you have to count on issues, technical issues, things like that. And it was so slick.
Now going a little bit more into Eurovision artists for this year. That's
Yes.
like the main focus now. So what was your impression of the artists from the class of 2025, and how were they received by the crowd? Is it okay if I ask you like particularly about some countries? Yeah.
Yes.
So first up, Iceland. How did they do?
So Iceland is not generally my type of music, but I come out of there going, oh, this is going to be my guilty pleasure this year. Like the energy of those two guys, like the brothers, it was really evident on stage, the energy that they had. So I really enjoyed it. They performed very well. It was chaotic. I would describe them as chaos in a good way. So yeah, Iceland I had a positive impression of. I think the crowd reacted very well to them as well.
Nice. Latvia then? That's a different energy.
Very different energy. They are mesmerizing. They are. This is not directly related to last night only, but on Friday night, we had the opportunity to meet them as well, as part of the press. And they did an a cappella version of their song. And their harmonies are just incredible. Latvia is one of the songs I hadn't heard as well before. And I was just like, it's ethereal. It just kind of brings you into a different space. And I loved the performance. They had minimal choreo, which was very impressive. No props, but choreo there. So you can tell that they're already kind of, in the space, getting ready for Basel. So yeah, I was really impressed with Latvia, and that went down very well with the crowd as well.
When I watched the video that you sent me, I was like, oh, it almost felt like going to church.
Yeah.
That feeling. Like, do you think people had a spiritual experience watching them live? How did did you see how people reacted to what they're bringing, which is very special?
To be honest, I was so in my own head at that moment. I would put it a different way rather than spiritual. I would put it in the sense of, if anyone has watched Lord of the Rings or Rings of Power or any of these kind of fantasy series where you have like the elves singing in the trees, like that is the vibe that I'm getting from this fairy tale kind of folklore story. And it resonated with me as an Irish person, because I think there's a number of countries across Europe where we have these kind of fairy tale woodland stories. And so on Saturday, I was very much in my own space. Friday night, when they did the a cappella, a lot of people, because I was filming it, and Julian, who is with you, is in Norway, had asked them to do it, and a crowd gathered round. Everyone, behind us, everyone kind of went silent in the press room, and everyone was just like clapping, and they got really good reception there, and it was just beautiful. It was a privilege at the same time to see it and to be part of that.
And Norway, how did the Kyle Alessandro do?
Kyle, I mean, everyone loves Kyle, right? He's such a bundle of joy and energy and in such a positive way. The crowd loved it. They were singing along. The song itself, I really enjoyed. There was the dance break. If I understood correctly, the dance break will be a little bit longer in Eurovision, I think. But he did a very short dance break. And then he also covered Fairy Tale. And he was doing some dancing to that, and I just thought, this guy is just a great guy, and vocally excellent, stage presence excellent. Everyone loved it, but home bias, I guess, as well. So we'll see in Madrid and Amsterdam what the reception is, but it's a song that I don't think it's a song people can dislike. So everyone's going to be able to enjoy this type of song.
Yeah, and he had a quite minimalistic stage show. He didn't have any backup dancers. Was that something that people thought about last night, or
honestly, I didn't even think about it. I didn't notice. My attention was firmly on him. He didn't need it. He has the charisma. He didn't need them there.
Nice.
I'm not saying for the Eurovision stage he doesn't need them, but for that particular performance last night, he didn't need anything else.
Nice. And there was another one standing alone on stage last night, and that was Zoe May from Switzerland with Voyage.
Yes. So this was one that suffered from a little bit from the production issues. Also because the music is very soft behind the vocals, and the crowd. I could hear people talking in the crowd more than I could hear her singing. And that's not her fault at all. The only time I could properly hear her was when she had the kind of louder part where she says voyage. And so, I mean, it sounds like a lovely ballad, but I would need to go and listen to it with nobody around me because I was very distracted by people talking in the crowd. It was her first live performance, so I feel bad for her in a way. Of that song ever in front of a crowd. That's what she told us on Friday.
Okay.
And so yeah, like I hope that the next performances that she has, that the sound mixing is right and the vocals are loud enough that we don't get distracted by crowds behind us or people that aren't maybe so interested in listening to it. There were rumors that they were a group of people that just weren't paying attention the entire show, and then that was the song that they could be heard in because obviously it was the lowest in terms of volume, but I don't know for sure, so it was just a pity.
So the crowd overall, how would you say that they reacted, even though it was a little bit of a timing issue and also technical issues?
I would say probably it was probably the one that they least reacted to in terms of at the end. But again, as I say, I don't think it's her fault at all. I simply think that the circumstances were what they were, not the loudest crowd response.
And then your country, Ireland, how did Emmy do last night?
So Emmy performed two songs. She did Witchwoods from MGP. I'd never heard that song before. I told her afterwards. It's like, that's a nice song. And of course, Like a Party. Yeah, everyone seemed to really bop along, enjoy it. I mean, it's another one of these songs where people in a club environment and a dancing environment, it's easy to bop along and sing to and enjoy. I feel like maybe Emmy had some vocal issues last night. It could have just simply been over talking too much the night before in the press and doing different events with the whole few days before. she could have been tired, like for voice wise, like me right now, and so I don't blame her for that at all. But the song itself, everyone was enjoying, so that was fun. And she was doing dance.
Yeah, and her dancers were really good.
Her dancers were really good. Yeah, I mean, there's the question of whether she needs to dance herself or not. I've seen a lot of people kind of pose this question. I feel like she should do what she's comfortable with, honestly. If she's not comfortable dancing, she shouldn't. But then I saw her doing the TikTok with the Vibe guys on Friday, and they seemed comfortable dancing freestyle. But maybe choreo style is not for her. I don't know. So yeah, we'll see what happens when it comes to Basel. But yeah, the atmosphere was good. And the question of whether she dances or not is not relevant until Eurovision.
Yeah, and what you said regarding her vocals, I think her vocals sounded really good from like the video, but but the last tone, the last note was off. And that's always, it leaves an impression, the recency effect, right? So I was like, that sucks to have only the last tone. But was it more than the last tone, or was maybe the impression left by missing the last note, do you think?
For me, it was the first, I think it was the first line.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, something's not right there.
Okay, yeah, so maybe the first and the last, basically.
Yeah, but maybe like also, and we learn this through obviously people's impressions on screen versus being in the room. Maybe because I was in the room, I have a different kind of impression, and on screen it might have come through fine. So yeah, I don't know.
And then Poland and Justina.
Yeah, yeah.
How was that?
So it was also chaos, but in a very organized chaos way. Justina is an amazing performer. 30 years since she's participated, she looks amazing. She had 2 dancers with her, and it was a really good stage show. And this is a song for me that's for the stage. It's not a playlist song for me. One thing that I felt didn't work was that there's a part of it where there are a number of words or phrases that she repeats. And they were on the LED in the back, but they're in Polish. And it was and she was trying to get the crowd to sing them. And I was trying, and I was just going, I just can't. And so, when you're trying to get a crowd response to words that they don't know, it fell a bit flat. But especially if she didn't sing them. And some points she didn't sing them. So yeah, that was the only thing that was not so great. But that wasn't, again, that's not going to affect Basel. This is just from the pre-party.
Yeah, and the crowd, how did they receive her overall, you think?
Positively, yeah. I think she would have been one of the more positively received of the 2025 artists. I'm trying to think if there was anything in particular that came out of that. No, I think it was just quite loud, the applause at the end. So good impressions.
And then the last one of the night that we're going to discuss now is Albania. How did they do?
Oh my God. Oh, that was incredible. Incredible. Okay, there were the vocal issues in terms of the mic sound and the mic level. So it was difficult at times to hear the female vocalist. But her entire stage charisma made up for any of that. And, this kind of, I don't know how even to describe the movement or the dance that they do or that she does, but it matches so well with the spoken word part, and she's just behind going Zjerm, 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 and like it was really, really great. Like, I really enjoyed it. I thought that the vibe was just right, the charisma was just right. Wonderful.
And
I really enjoyed it.
and I think she has kind of grown into this kind of fashion icon over the last, shows. It was so iconic.
Yeah, she had a mask on. She had an eye mask on. And they actually performed two songs. So she had the eye mask on for Zjerm, and performed that. And her fashion, incredible for that. And then she didn't completely change fashion for the next song, but took off the eye mask and said, basically, we want to do something for you that makes you want to dance. And even though it wasn't a dance song, it was still that kind of same vibe where you're like, I can feel myself like swaying to this, and kind of, and obviously I don't speak Albanian or understand Albanian, but it's just, again, the charisma, the vibe. It's just, they were great.
And the crowd?
The crowd really enjoyed Albania. They really enjoyed Albania. It was very positive today.
Of the Eurovision 2025 participants and performances from last night, who was the most impressive acts, and who would you give the bronze, silver, and the gold medal to? Like, who would be the top three from last night?
Wow. I think that it's the bronze one. I'm going to give it to Iceland. Because they surprised me. I did not expect to enjoy it. I did not expect it to be my vibe. Vibe. Why are they called vibe?
You ask me?
So, and yet, it was just something I was like, this is fun. And I'm enjoying it. And yeah, called the guilty pleasure. I enjoyed it. I thought they did a great job. So, I think I was worried because of their personas off stage, maybe, but on stage, great.
Yeah, you were a little bit afraid of their chaos.
Yeah, the chaos scared me. Yeah, they would have my bronze. My silver. This is based on last night, and it's not based on my own, if I was to rank. But based on last night, my silver would go to Albania. Like, again, as I said, it crossed genres to meet something that I just found myself entranced by. I really loved it, really enjoyed it. And the only reason it doesn't get gold is because of the mic issues. That's the only reason. If there were no sound or production mic issues with the lead singer, or the only singer, because the male part of I can never say their name, the band's name,
Škodra Elektronike.
Yeah, those exactly. So he said, like, point blank, I can't sing.
But I don't agree, though. He has like this Leonard Cohen kind of proclaimed poetry.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like,
yeah.
I get what he's trying to say. It might be a language thing, but he's very much, in spoken word, rhythmically and spoken word terms, very good at what he does. I really, really like that, and the kind of like background kind of mysticism, and her, doing the dance in the background was really cool as well. So, the only reason it doesn't get gold is because of the mic issue. And so the gold goes to Latvia.
Okay, tell me why.
They were just mesmerizing. Like, it's this ethereal, it's almost, like I said, like, I was not paying attention to the crowd because I was so much enjoying the song and them and watching them They had a choreo together. It was so well synced up already. The vocals were incredible. The harmonies were great. And I was just so entranced by them that I didn't notice anything else around me. So and every single one of them had great vocals.
That says
so
a
that's
lot.
that's why Latvia gets my gold star from last night.
Oh, that makes me happy for them. It seemed to me also that they nailed it.
Yeah, they did.
So
I felt like that.
I just looked at the odds, and it seems like they are way down.
Yeah, I haven't looked so much at the odds yet, but I did hear that as well. I get it. I mean, I don't. I think if you're looking at winner odds, I don't think any of the songs last night are potential winners of Eurovision. If you're looking at top 10 odds, I think potentially Latvia, but also Poland and Albania have potential, and Norway have potential to be in top 10. So once the top 10 odds are out, I think, or if they're out already, I haven't checked. But looking at those and seeing how far the countries are in that respect, maybe we get a better impression. I do see why they wouldn't have high odds for winning.
This is really interesting, actually. I did a full analysis on the jury's scores and how that's going to pan out.
Yeah.
And if you go through the criterias, I'm going to make a video about this soon. But I think they will do quite well with the juries, actually. And that's maybe why they are the dark horse of this year.
But this is why I said about the comparison with Vesna, because they did pretty well with the juries as well. Because Vesna were great in Eurovision. I was at the jury show that they played, and they did very well. But they also had a lot of vocal issues during pre-parties. Latvia are starting off with no vocal issues. So they can only impress even more. And so I totally agree with you on that. They have a lot of potential with the juries.
Yeah. And also in terms of the political state of the world right now as well, what they're bringing is basically the antidote to everything.
Yeah, I mean, and I think the fact that when you're listening to that song, you're not thinking about anything else outside your own bubble or your own head, or it's internalizing. It's an internal song for you and a personal thing. You can like it, or maybe you don't. That's fine. But I think that adds to what you say. It's not looking out at sending a message song of some kind. It's really about take from it what you will or what you feel into you. So I totally agree.
That's very beautiful. I'm happy they got the gold from last night. So there is a lot of stuff gonna happen really soon, and this was also a way for us to introduce you to our viewers here, because
yes, that too. Hello.
Yeah. Because we love you and we love collaborating with you, and you are all over the place on all these shows. So this is our first try at doing a review, so that feel like they are on board and knows what is going on in the Eurovision space. So if you appreciate this kind of content and this type of conversation, so you can get insight into what is happening, then please comment down below and you will see more of Chris.
Yeah, I'd be very happy to. I love talking to you guys, and we had such a great time at Malmo, and I love doing our collaborations together as well. So I would be very happy to keep you up to date on all things going on in the pre-parties.
Great, I'm super happy. You're all over the place for us. And I love these updates. This is a part of my Eurovision season, so I think it should be a part of everybody's Eurovision season. You're such a lovely guy, so thank you for that. And again, thank you, Chris. Looking forward to the next review, and that will be from...
It'll be from Amsterdam, but from the crowd perspective.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Good luck.
Yeah.
And see you again.
I think 27, 28 acts in Amsterdam, so quite a few. So we'll have a very good idea there.
Yeah, it goes quickly now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll maybe have some other collaborations as well. So we'll see. It depends on the time and everything.
Yes.
But lovely to chat with you as always. And now, get some sleep, and I'll talk to you soon.
I will. Yes, talk to you soon. Bye bye.
Bye.